Hey guys, I'm Coach Alex with FirstLight Academy in Hood River. I'm here to take you through a mobility series in which we will be embracing the concept of motion as lotion for our bodies. So these exercises are moving exercises designed to help us stay loose and limber for our jiu-jitsu practice. As we're moving through these exercises, do your best to breathe, stay as relaxed as possible, and this should be a great way to start your day every morning so that you can feel great and ready to go for work and for training. So to get started, we're going to be in a lunge position from standing. I'll turn sideways so you can see that it's not a very deep stance. It's just a nice relaxed stance, similar to maybe a front stance if you did karate or taekwondo. And I'm going to come onto the ball of my back foot. From this lunge position, I'm turning my back foot in so that my back foot is a little pigeon-toed. And I will now establish a posture very similar to closed guard top position. So I'm rounding my low back and hollowing my belly. This position in our torso will help extend our hip flexor muscles, and we'll get a really great stretch from doing this. Once I've established this posture, hands go on the hips, and I simply dip down with my back knee and then lift it back up. We'll do this about 5 to 10 times, going forward and back just as I am right now, thinking about hollowing that belly and rounding the low back to get the best hip flexor stretch you can. Make sure we're breathing as we move through this. After about 5 or 10, let's begin moving side to side. As I move side to side, I'm still hollowing the belly and I'm still rounding my low back to embrace that great hip flexor stretch. Breathing slowly and finding what position feels best for your hips. You can kind of play with sitting out in different directions. Finally, after 5 or 10 of those, we'll let our hands come up and we're going to be twisting, maintaining that hollow belly and the low back rounding. We've moved in 3 planes now, forward and back, side to side, and in the twist. So we're making sure that our hip flexor muscle fibers are getting worked out in more than just the forward and back plane. After 5 or 10 of these, we can relax, and we'll switch to the other leg, setting up our lunge on the ball of the back foot, turning our foot in a little bit, hands on the hips, hollow the belly around the low back, and move forward and back. So as you're moving through this, you might feel like dropping the knee down might feel pretty good. You're totally welcome to explore and play with these movements and find what feels best for your body. After 5 or 10, we'll start to move side to side. And with these side to side and twisting motions, it can be hard to keep that belly engaged. So do your best to keep the belly drawn in and the low back round. And always breathe. I got to remind myself as well. After 5 to 10 lateral movements, we can begin twisting. And after 5 to 10 twists, we can relax, shake it out a little bit. So that was a great hip flexor series. We're going to move now into a hip flexor and hamstring series. So to get down to the floor to do this, we'll breathe in, lift our hands up, breathe out, bend the knees and fold down. Hands come onto the mat and we step back to plank position. Now I'll turn sideways to show you guys this next part. From plank, I'm going to let my weight come back to down dog. Lift my right leg up to the sky, and then step to a runner's lunge position. This is the position from which we'll do our next exercise. I inhale, bring my weight into my front foot and drop my back knee toward the mat or all the way down. I exhale and I sit my weight back and extend my front leg. Inhaling, coming forward. Exhaling, moving back. We'll do this about 8 times. During this exercise, we want to be breathing very deeply, face relaxing, Eyes softening, breath flowing very deeply. After 6 to 8 of these, we can step our front foot back to down dog, lift our left leg up to the sky, and step to runner's lunge with the other leg in front. I'll turn so you can see from the front view this time. I inhale and come forward. Exhale and go back. Inhale, hip flexor stretch. Exhale, hamstring stretch. After 6 or 8 of those, we'll step back to down dog, walk our feet forward to forward fold, and then walk our feet open to a straddle position. In this straddle, I like to turn my toes out at 45 degrees to make sure that I have nice alignment for my hips and knees. And I'll begin rocking side to side. So now we're getting into our hamstrings, but we're also getting into our inner thigh muscles. So I'm gliding side to side very carefully and slowly. This exercise can be challenging to stay safe with. A lot of people have a tendency to drop a lot of weight into this exercise. So stay moving very gently and slowly. I like to inhale as I go to one side and exhale as I flow to the other side to make sure I'm still maintaining a nice deep breath pattern as I stretch. After 5 or 10 of those on each side, we'll turn the feet forward, step back into forward fold, and inhale as we roll up to standing. We've done 3 exercises for our hip flexors, our inner thighs, and our hamstrings. So now let's work on our upper body a little bit. Taking a nice wide stance squat with our toes, knees, and hips in alignment, pointing out at 45-degree angles. We'll drop down into our squat. Palms come in front. I inhale to open and exhale to close. We can do about 10 to 15 of these. And notice that as I'm doing this exercise, I'm doing my best to keep my belly drawn in instead of rounding my low back. So I tuck my tail and I keep my belly drawn in. That way this will really focus the stretch in my chest rather than just my body accommodating my inflexibility by arching the low back. After 10 or 15 of those, we can stand up into a more upright position with our feet right under our hips. My palms will come out in front, elbows in. I inhale and my hands go back toward my back. Exhale and come forward. After 5 or 10 of those, we'll do our last exercise for this series. I inhale, come up onto my toes and reach up as high as I can reach. Exhale, I bend my knees, fold at the hips, and round all the way down. Inhale and come up. Exhale and go down. Inhale and come up. Exhale and go down. About 5 more of these. And then coming up to standing. So that's a great mobility series that I would recommend for every morning when you wake up, or every evening before you go to bed, or even after every jiu-jitsu practice. This is a great way to keep our body open and fluid. So thanks guys for going through this series with me. I'll be providing a lot more mobility work for us in the future, so stay tuned. Thank you.